Hello.
This meeting
Hey
is being
Taylor.
recorded.
Oh wait. Now I can hear you.
Amazing. Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. Are you struggling to breathe through your nose?
No, I just saw them yesterday and I was like, let's try them out.
Is it like helping you breathe?
I mean, I could breathe properly before, but I was just like, let's try it. It's cool. It's I feel a bit more
Yeah.
airflow, but it's not like a crazy superpower I know gained.
Ah, yeah, man. How are you? How you been?
Yeah, very, very good. Yeah, just over the past days, I struggled to get going with work. I was a bit in a pit hole, sometimes with
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
that's okay. It's very normal.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about the pit holes. They come and go. And yeah, they're devastating when they come, and thank Jesus that they go. We're gonna do something at the beginning of this call that'll help.
Amazing.
We're gonna have a little meditative intro.
Hey guys, I'm in the break of my course,
Okay, no worries, dude.
so I'll be just um, looking from here.
You're a committed trooper. Thank you.
What course are you doing?
It's about sales and AI.
Cool.
Okay.
Those are good things to learn about.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I'm
Awesome.
trying to learn good things all the time.
Yeah, enjoy it. Usman, how are you?
Good, Taylor. How are you?
Good. Am I pronouncing your name correctly? Usman?
Yep, that's the best you can do.
Awesome. How you been? Are you back on a nervous system regulating schedule or what?
I actually had a really productive day today. I went to bed still late, but I went to bed like 11.
Nice.
I but I woke up at 6, had a morning walk, 20 minutes meditation, and
Ah,
having the sun in my eyes.
you did it.
Yeah, yeah. It was honestly the most productive day I've had in
Oh
like
my
last
God.
2
I'm
months,
so excited.
for sure.
Oh my God. It's the little things.
Yep. I just sat in front of the ocean and just meditated for 20 minutes. Like my timer was set for 10 minutes, but I
Yeah.
didn't realize when it turned to 20
Oh,
minutes, right?
that's the best.
Yeah. So
Oh,
grateful for that.
oh, dude. Wow, welcome to your new life. This is sort of you
Yeah.
pushing the first domino, and like the impact that changing your morning routine has on the rest of your life is so incredible. It blows my mind every time I find a way to make my day start off in a more grounded way. It's like, wow, can't believe it.
Yep.
Ah,
And this accountability thing also really helps, because I knew that, there is a call today.
and I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah. And I was like, no, I cannot disappoint, right? And I have to do it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
this definitely, works.
Cool, dude. Oh my God, I love that. I love hearing that, dude. Um, well, it's late for you, which is good because this will help you get to sleep a little bit. And for
Yeah.
those of you who it's early, I'm gonna I'm gonna try not to make you fall asleep. But just for the beginning of this call, I just wanted to do a 3 to 4 minute guided meditation so we can all sync up together and ground together. Um, so before we begin, the concept of grounding is a simple thing in which we are souls that are inhabiting a physical body, and sometimes our soul can be way out there and we're not really in the body. And so the concept of grounding is just sort of bringing our spirit slash soul into the body, which is a concept of merging with your higher self or your soul or whatever, because your soul is like infinitely intelligent. And we've to just be here with me, let's all just take a moment to close our eyes and ground, and just feel your sweet tush on that seat of yours, and feel how heavy the body is. And you can feel your feet planted on the floor. And we can imagine roots sort of growing out of our feet and going all the way down to the core of the earth. And we can imagine roots coming out of our lowest chakra, sort of the base of our spine, and going all the way down to the core of the earth. And this is our grounding cord. And it's going to make sure that any negative, less preferable energies that we don't want goes to the core of the earth. And the earth is really good at transmuting this energy for us, so we don't have to do it. We don't have to spend any energy. All we have to do is take this moment to set up this beautiful little grounding cord. So once you've tied it to the base of your spine and the core of the earth, you should see a flow of energy going down to the core of the earth. Okay. Let's see. Great. We're all here together. Now, what we want to do is imagine a big golden sun, like a bubble above our heads. And now what we're going to do is we're going to call back all of our energy from past, present, or future. You know, we sent our energy down to the core of the earth that we don't want, but we also, once it's transmuted and neutralized, we want to call back all of our energy. And so we're going to call back all of our energy into this big, bright golden sun that's above our heads. And it's going to go into that bubble. And it's going to be purified with the light of the Lord, of Supreme Being, of God. And you can imagine the bubble just getting bigger and brighter and golden. And now you're just going to crack it open like an egg, and all that beautiful, bright, golden energy is just going to pour into your aura, into your etheric body, and it's going to fill up your entire aura and your entire body. And here we are. We're now grounded, and we're all here together with all of our energy. We did it. That was amazing. You guys did so good. How did that feel? Did everybody feel good doing that?
Super hot fire.
Super hot fire. Okay, that's a good response. Fabian, how did you feel?
Very peaceful.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it
Usman?
was quite refreshing. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. This is something I do every day. It doesn't even need to take 5 minutes. It can take 30 seconds, but it's nice to go through it slow. It's really nice when somebody guides you through it because you just sort of feel like you're on the boat. Someone else is steering it. So let's start. What questions does anybody have? It's an open
Can I
forum. Yeah, go
can
for
I
it.
just share one thing?
Yeah,
So my biggest struggle with what you just did right now is still that the mind wanders even though
yeah,
you're speaking, right?
yeah,
So like you're talking and I'm thinking about a client,
yeah.
right?
I get it.
But like I will consciously try to, train that muscle to come back to what you're saying. But there are like brief moments while you're doing it that mind just automatically wanders.
Hmm.
Even though at the start of it I made a commitment that I'm not gonna think about anything else, right?
Yeah,
But still, it just happens, and I just think it's gonna take some training, right?
yeah, 100%. The more you meditate, the more you calm the mind down. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're 100% right.
cool.
Yeah. So, it's
Thanks.
easy for me. I exited my company. I don't have any responsibilities.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I don't have to worry about making money and servicing clients. So I'm here to help you guys.
I know. Yeah, it's a
But
walk
it
in the
was
park for you.
meditating was super difficult when I had 42 clients and 22 employees. I was like, holy shit, what is going on?
Exactly.
But
You had a lot to put behind, huh?
yeah, you got to sort of let go of it all. It's tough. But Usman, that was a great question, and it's totally normal. Yeah,
Yeah, cool, thanks.
no worries.
Hey, so I'm
Tell me.
I'm gonna grab the time first because
Shoot.
um I am really picturing myself with this UGC and Meta Ads agency, but um the problem right now for me is I don't know where to start in order to start testing the niche and checking out if clients are actually gonna be interested in the service I'm gonna provide. So
Yeah.
I was wondering if you think it's wise for me to start building a brand around it, start doing a website and try
Yeah.
to I don't know, optimize my LinkedIn for reaching out to companies, or you think I should do it just right now with no website, for example?
Yeah, there's a loaded question, and there's a lot there. But tell me in one sentence the service offering.
UGC for optimized meta ads.
UGC and meta ads. So
Yep.
essentially, user generated content that would be used as an ad through Instagram or Facebook.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and who's the market / ideal client profile that you're considering going after?
I want to start going after yacht dealerships.
Yeah, luxury experiences, right?
Well, yes, that they either sell the boats
Okay.
or they rent them.
Also private jets, right? That's what you mentioned.
Yeah, also private jets because it was part of the whole idea. But I don't know if I should pursue first this small niche and then try with the other, or
Okay, yeah. So let's just talk about this. This is really good. I'm actually, for fun, building agency Birth. I just started 2 days ago, and it's incredible. And it's all about this, the entry level, like how in the world do you get your first client? Like what do you prioritize your energy in when you want to scale from like 0 to just 2 or 3,000 a month and then 10,000 a month? I think I shared this with you in the comments, but the first step is to just sort of feel into what feels most exciting for us to learn, the service offering aspect. It seems to be UGC / meta advertising, which is really cool. That's an invaluable skill. Really, what we're talking about is the concept of creating valuable content in a user, like an organic way, because UGC is all about somebody who just gets a product, makes a really cool video with the product organically, loves it, and that's what UGC is technically is. Even though there's a lot of people who get paid to make it, right? And they make it beautifully, but it looks organic, it looks amazing. And then you're essentially pouring fuel on the fire by putting paid ads behind it. So it's a very, very valuable skill. Okay, if you can master that, you can build a multi-7-figure agency for sure, without a doubt. So I just want to make that very clear. That skill is invaluable to so many companies and so many people around the world. There's so many people who struggle with it and need help with it. Claudia specializes in UGC. She's been making UGC for years, so I know UGC pretty well. And I know advertising pretty well as well. And I also have some friends that run meta ads for brands and stuff. So anyways, in terms of what to do next, well, you have a couple options. You can spend a little bit of time researching creating good UGC quality content, or researching like meta ads, just to get a good understanding about what it is that you're offering. I don't know how much knowledge you have, but in the beginning, when I started doing Amazon advertising and I signed the first client, I was a little bit nervous because I felt the imposter syndrome of not having actual like experience with what I'm doing, but yet I'm
Yeah,
going to
I saw that in the videos.
but yet I'm going to a brand and I'm telling them like I can do this. And so there's an how do you mitigate the imposter syndrome that comes with starting with no experience but yet trying to get a client to pay you money? I think there's two options. One, you can learn about what it is that you're offering and spend your time and energy investing in becoming knowledgeable about it through YouTube or Google. I think YouTube's the best source of information, and you just need to have good prompts that goes into the algorithm that gives you, good videos from good creators that have experience in one, creating UGC content, and two, running meta ads. You don't really need meta ads for UGC. You just need like good meta ads for either like high ticket lead gen stuff, which is what you're kind of doing with the private jet yacht stuff, or e-commerce if you want to go down like the rabbit hole of for lower ticket items like products and stuff, which and then there's like a middle spectrum, which is what Fabian's doing with like coaches that maybe sell a little bit higher ticket things like $2,000 or $3,000 programs or masterminds or whatever. So the what should you focus your energy on? If you feel comfortable to just immediately, because if you feel like your knowledge is good enough to where you can speak to Facebook ads / meta ads and UGC, and you want to just go out there and start talking and testing the market, go for it. I do think that the minimum viable thing for getting you started at that point is a LinkedIn profile. I don't know the yacht market and the private jet market and where those people live. If you're reaching out to them on Instagram, then it would be your Instagram profile. It depends. So I don't think you need a website per se. I genuinely don't think it's needed. It would be helpful if you could make a basic website. And if you were to make that basic website, I would say that you should just make it so it's general and vague and it focuses on UGC and meta ads. It doesn't have any specificity around if it's for yacht or private jet or whatever. Because the reality is you might pivot and offer this service to somebody else. And if you have to change your website every single time, it's kind of like, that's annoying, that's tough, that's difficult. So when I started Better AMS, the actual brand that I started with was called Painless PPC. That's the domain that I bought. And PPC is a broad term. It's basically just advertising. It stands for pay per click. I did that because I didn't know if Amazon advertising was going to work out. But when you went to painlessppc.com, I just made it a super basic template website. And the homepage just said, we help people on Amazon, generate more sales through Amazon advertising. So that way I could just change the headline, and that was the easiest thing for me to do. I felt like if I'm going to swap niches or like change my offering and try someone totally different, let's say the yacht market doesn't work out, I don't get good feedback, it's too difficult for whatever purposes. I don't know. We don't know until we get market feedback. All we have to do is then change the headline. So it would be cool if you could make a super basic agency website, something that costs you extremely minimal, like I don't know, like $5 per month, like something that's absolutely minimal effort to make template. It's not required, but it would help in your outreach process to make you
And
look more legit.
in this Painless PPC website, did you brand it as Better AMS or?
We rebranded as Better AMS once we were doing like $10,000 a month because I felt like, okay, this is the niche that we want to be in. I now want my brand to speak specifically to this vertical. You know what I mean?
So you changed the domain and everything, right?
I changed the domain, yeah, and we redid the website.
So I
So
shouldn't spend much time in branding and stuff,
don't spend any time in branding. Like just get started. Make the most basic logo ever. My logo was terrible. My website was terrible. Everything was trash. At the end of the day, like the most important thing is you as a person. You
Yeah.
do want to have a website that makes it look like you're professional. And so just find a good template, right? Like it doesn't need to be something that is totally unique relative to all the other competitors in the industry. When you're bigger, that becomes important. But in the beginning, it's not that important. So I would say that it is worth it to make a website. It'll help you with converting people to like discovery calls and eventually becoming actual clients, because it adds credibility to what you're doing. You know, it's just sort of like social proof. So look, well, here's the basic concept. I'm just going to give it to you in a nutshell. It's good to keep your brand vague and wide and general, but specific to the service offering. So meta ads is what you want to focus on, right? Content creation with advertising behind that content. Some combination that speaks to those two things, right? Like content plus advertising. Like that's a powerful combination. Every brand in the world wants good content with someone that knows how to advertise that content. The website speaks to that. And then when you do your outreach, you can just make the message more specific. Like we're focused on helping people that sell yachts. We're focused on helping people that sell jets. If that doesn't work out, you can immediately pivot and you can say, and you can start reaching out to like e-commerce brands, or you can start reaching out to people that do this. You know what I mean? And you can just change the message and the outreach. So that way the website doesn't need to change.
All right, boss. That was exactly what I wanted to hear.
Cool.
That's perfect.
Okay. So yeah, I would probably start with the website thing, and then I would just the reason why I say start with the website is because it sort of gives you a little bit more clarity in understanding what it is that you're offering, and it helps you speak to it a little bit better when you start approaching people. And it doesn't need to take long. Like, dude, but the website I built, the painless PPC thing, was like 3 days. It was done. I was like, okay, this is good enough. Sweet. Moving on to reaching out to people on LinkedIn immediately, because that's what my mentor at the time told me to do. So I was just like a duck following, the words of my person.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Okay. Love you, dude.
Love you too.
Usman, do you have anything else?
You might be in a deep flow, or you might not know that he's muted.
You saw this realization,
It's
the
the
light
latter.
went
Yeah.
off.
No, I was actually trying to. I thought this was a Google Meet, and I was just finding which tab,
It's okay.
which tab I'll be on, and then I figured out, okay, Zoom. Anyhow, yeah, just building on what you were talking about, with Juan. I don't know
Yep.
how do you say his name, but
Juan, yeah, you got it.
yeah. So one of my strategies was that I bought like 5, 6 domain names that were highly targeted to a particular niche that I wanted to do like email marketing for, right? So one that I have is like automotive repair, so automotive SEO company.com or dentist.seo.com
Cool.
and stuff like this. So I had like 5, 6 that were like highly targeted within the domain name itself, right? So I still haven't had the time to execute this plan, but I just wanted like your thoughts on this. If something like this for email marketing, because you can easily scrape like all the businesses in Google that are, let's say, dentists or are auto repair shops or lawyers. Lawyers is a huge like with SEO. I also have like law firm SEO.com, something like that, right?
Damn,
So
those are good domains.
yeah, and all of them have like a search volume. So if you were to like type it out as it is, they have like 200, 300 search volume, which is why I just got them off of Namecheap like a couple of years back. But I
Cool.
still haven't done anything with them.
I mean, I love that. I think that's amazing. It does help a little bit. It's just an extra dimensionality of specificity in resonating with your ideal client prospect or the person that you're reaching out to, right? Like the more in which your digital footprint screams, I do this for you and for you only, the more likely they are to feel like you're their person. But, at a certain point, like I think that's a great I think that at a certain point your brand just has to be unified under one domain. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I think in the beginning stages, that's great. I think where you're at, is it
Necessary.
extremely valuable or needed? Probably not, because you're already so in it farther ahead than the, so if there's a way in which you could, like, I don't know, replicate a style of website that somehow gets organic traffic for like lead gen flow, and then you can just put everybody under your like Canopy Agency LLC or what, or maybe they don't even know the difference. Okay, that's possible. That could be a possible strategy for sure. So I'm not negating it. I think that it could be useful, especially because the organic SEO benefits, and I don't know SEO that well, so that's an aspect that, like,
Yeah.
better than me, right? But it does help a little bit to have a domain that speaks to them. It's just such a micro thing that, like, is it worth it to go through all this energy to set up 6 different websites just to have that specific domain? You could do that as like a sub landing page on your main website. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. You know SEO better than me, so I think you could answer that question better.
Yeah, so with obviously exact match domains like aren't as big as they used to be, but they still carry like some sort of value.
Yeah.
Uh, but you're right, like once you do get like authoritative in that sense, then you
Yeah.
can basically rank easily on even if you create like a sub page for it,
Okay.
right? But this strategy was basically so ranking could be like a good byproduct, like uh, or the secondary result. But
Okay.
my aim was to basically like do email marketing with it. So
Okay.
that my domain name has like,
Yeah.
Usman at lawfirmfdor.com and stuff like that, right? So that
Yeah.
was the main goal basically. But yeah,
Yeah. I think that, having that in your email marketing and the domain to as an element of specificity will make a very small incremental increase in your, conversion rate of getting people to respond and eventually become clients. So I guess you
hmm
just have to weigh it out in your mind. Is it worth the complexity of 6 different domains and 6 different email? If that's not complex to you and whatever, then go for it. But for me, I'd be like, that's too complicated because I'm just not as technically savvy as you are, I believe, in that realm. So totally up to you.
the good thing is that the VAs here are like super cheap, right? So I can just outsource all this operation with an
It's
SOP,
true. Yeah.
and then I can just like test it, right? It's really about how badly I want to test this. If I want, I can just hire a couple of people.
This is such a good, like, if you can hire an integrator who can focus specifically on executing the marketing initiative ideas that you have and can oversee the management of the beings who will execute on it, so sort of like a project manager, but in the marketing department, ahead of marketing, really, is sort of what we're getting at. Um, that'd be incredible. I think that'd be really valuable because I'm sure you have a million ideas.
I do.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of ideas that have been sitting in the bucket for far too long.
Yeah, and I know that when we spoke about your margins, they're too high in the sense that if you want to scale, it's like you should have
Yeah,
lower margins. So I think
yeah,
you have that room. And I don't know about your wife. This might be a bigger conversation, but if she's more operationally oriented as an integrator, so there's different dimensions to it, right? Like there's the visionary, there's the integrator, but for example, the integrator in Better AMS, who's Alex, the COO, he's so brilliant financially speaking, like the P&L, the management of the people. He's amazing at people, P&L, finance, legal stuff. He's really good at all of that. He's not like the guy to go and execute the marketing initiative though.
right.
But he would be great to oversee the person that is managing the team that is executing on the marketing. So there's like the COO, the marketer lead, or like the CMO who kind of reports to the COO, and then you have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
people below that. So I don't know if you would want to be that person who would oversee the marketer or if it would be your wife, but either or, I think that would possibly be a good position to fill. A good exercise for you to go through would be to sort of sit down with your wife, your partner, and look at the org chart of your company now, and look at the org chart that you would want to have after you've invested the amount that you want to invest into the company, after you decrease your margins a little bit. So that's a good exercise, because then you can sort of plot the different, like who are the beings that could really move the needle in the different areas of the business, the bottlenecks, etc. It's an exercise we would go through quarterly with Better AMS, is just review the org chart and our dream roles, like the dream team that we would want to have. Like, what's the most epic dream team that we would want? And then, okay, who can we afford right now that would be most impactful to get this business to 100,000 a month, right, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I would also like follow up on this with, so it's evident that we need like a marketer to execute all of this, right?
For sure.
How to basically, so what I'm noticing, so I just fired one of my employees today, right?
Mhm.
It's just me, like, I think you said it like in one of your videos to, I don't know if it's you or somebody else, but hire fast, fire faster. I don't know if you said that or somebody else, but
I think I said hire slow, fire fast.
hire slow, fast. Yeah, more or less the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But so what I've noticed is until or unless you work with someone, you don't really know
Yep.
how they're gonna turn out, right? The interview doesn't tell you anything, right?
It's very much a trailer to the movie, and you have to pray that you saw the trailer that is actually the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So then I would just want like your top tips, like while hiring somebody like this, do I make them go through that crystallizer assessment? What are the things that I should look out for, you know?
Well, the crystallizer assessment's amazing. It's the lowest hanging fruit on the tree that will make sure that you're hiring somebody that can execute on the plans, that you're going, the ideas that you're going to be giving them. There's two options really, though. Like, you could hire somebody that is an experienced marketer, and you could hire somebody that isn't an experienced marketer but has intelligence, knows how to move around in Google Sheets. Um,
Yeah,
you just feel that they're a great person and that they have a lot of potential to grow, and they have a genuine interest in learning in about what it is that your agency does. That, for me, I like the latter much more than the former. I love the people that maybe don't have the most experience at all, but they're just so willing to learn. It's
yeah,
so much slower of a process to sort of get up to speed, because you have to be really patient with them. They're learning, they're sort of getting their grips. But I think that at your stage, I would probably be looking for somebody that is more entry level, not beginner, but like maybe 1 year, and maybe they have 1 year experience with another marketing agency. They just graduated university. They've been with another marketing agency for a year. They know a bit about SEO, a bit about PPC, but they're still just like in that phase where they're hungry to learn and test and get feedback from their tests that they're doing. When you get bigger, when you're at like 75, 100, 150,000 a month, I think that's when you start thinking about senior level positions where you start hiring people, especially if the entry level person that you hired hasn't sort of evolved into that senior role already. Because sometimes there's scenarios where the people that you hire over the years become that senior person. That's the most ideal scenario, because they've been cooked by your culture for so many years, right? And it's the best when you can promote somebody from within. It really can fuck the culture if you hire somebody just out of nowhere and then put them above these people that have been in your company
yeah,
for 4 years. It just feels so weird.
that's true.
Sometimes that's needed, but in your scenario, I don't think it is. I would try to find somebody with 1 to 2 years experience in the marketing realm, who's hungry to learn and wants to have that position where they have the freedom to just create and execute, because that's a super rare thing. This is a more creative role in the sense that you're just going to be telling them something over a conversation, and you're going to be like, hey Taylor, I have this idea, I have 6 domains, I want to scrape this list, I want to execute on firing out 100 emails a day to this sector and that sector and this sector. I want to give you the resources to do this so that you can hire 1 person or 2 people underneath you. Go and do it, and let's touch base every day and see how you're doing. To like, that's the ultimate scenario, right? Like, you don't want to have to manage the person. You want to just be able to tell them to go do it. That position offers so much growth to an individual. It's such a rare opportunity because in most cases, people come into companies and they're handed SOPs and they're told what to do. That kind of sucks, but it's necessary in the beginning to get understanding of what you're doing, to get experience. And sometimes there's a lot of people who don't want to have that creative role because there's a lot more pressure, right? But these are the people who become the leaders in your company, and it starts by empowering them to just go and fucking do it themselves. And that's where we give birth to entrepreneurs, people that sort of become entrepreneurial within your organization, that innovate and act like owners and think like owners because you're treating them like an owner and you're giving them that opportunity. So whoever this hire is, it's an extraordinarily important hire, and they're going to have freedom within the boundaries that you set. You're just going to sort of build the vase and say, this is your boundaries. You have $3,000 per month, whatever it is. This is what we want to execute on. Go for it. You have 2 or 3 months. Let's see how it goes, right? So that way, you as a business owner, you can sort of rationally and logically look at it and say, like, okay, cool, here's this marketing initiative that we're doing. The person's salary is $2,000 per month. We're giving them $2,000 per month to hire other people. That will give them about 1 or 2 other hires below them. Maybe a few $100s a month for softwares or ads. I don't know what it is. Our total investment is like $5,000 per month for this marketing initiative team, and we're going to see how it goes in the course of 3 months. So our total potential investment is, let's say, $10,000 over the course of 3 months, and our margins are still going to be really high. So what's the risk? There's no risk really, because this is an experiment to see if we can really make a push at growing. But that's sort of the logic and the math that you want to do with your wife, with your partner, is build the org chart, budget out how much you're willing to invest, set the boundaries, have the vision for what you want to execute on, then find the person that's going to be the driving force, and let them go for it, and then just watch them, every week. Just tune into their movie because they're the ones that's directing it.
Yeah.
So does that help?
Cool. Yeah, that was amazing. I let Fabian ask. I do have a
Okay.
follow-up, but let Fabian
Okay, cool.
ask some questions.
Fabian, you have so many different names. Is it Fabian or Fabian? Which one is it?
Originally in German, it's called Fabian.
Okay, cool.
But it's all fine how you pronounce it. I love those different accents. It's always nice to have some different accents to your name, because then you're always out of the boundary when somebody says that name. It always
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
No, for me it's so my struggle is a bit, so sometimes everything is perfect kind of on the outside, and then I had the shooting in Switzerland. Everything worked kind of well. We got everything set up,
Mhm.
had those videos. And then I came back to Germany, and I don't know, my energy was just kind of away, and I just didn't get shit done. And now it's Thursday, and and I said I want to edit those videos or finish those videos until Monday. And I mean, it's fine. I can finish the videos that need to be finished to run those, to get the ads running, which is fine. And the client was also already probably it's too much and stuff. But it's just sometimes these kind of things, like this active video editing, it's cool, but it's not what gives me so much the goosebump. It's just like it's like a work that you can do in a flow and stuff, but it's not like, you know, I would rather like to go on to the next thing and rather give that to somebody. And then like I was also this, and yeah, I think it's just taking time away from me that I would like rather like to spend on some things, and then I feel kind of guilty that I need to do it, but I rather might want to do something else, and then I just kind of do nothing and just watch YouTube or some stuff. And yeah, that's a bit the situation.
Yeah, I get it. I have been there. I know that feeling. What do you think it is?
Probably I would need somebody to help me with building the business, like with like like
Doing the things that you don't like?
I mean, it's not that I don't like it. It doesn't feel like work in any way, but it's just like, oh, I should have just stood there and just, and I think I need to get more into a rhythm, because I'm like, I don't really have a rhythm, you know, with my day. I just always kind of go flow about it. But if I would have, like, my plan was to just, Monday was perfect day. I executed everything. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, you know, I just did basically nothing. And the plan was to Tuesday and Wednesday edit those videos, and then today I would have been finished and everything would have been fine, right? But it's now Thursday and I've done a couple of videos, but not them as much as I need. And yeah, probably rhythm in, I don't know.
Well, it's a time management thing, and it's difficult because you can plan your week. And let's say Monday is great. You executed on the plan. Fantastic. And then Tuesday arrives and you have what you're supposed to do, but you wake up and you're like, I don't want to do it. And, you know, that's where you just need to say, okay, I don't feel like doing this today. I am going to reorganize. I'm going to just decide to take today off completely. I'm just going to chill. I'm going to consciously make that decision because it feels like I need to make that decision, right? That way you're not guilt tripping yourself for doing nothing and, you know, laying around and maybe like pretending you're doing something productive by watching YouTube videos, but actually not doing something productive at all because you're sort of in this limbo, you know what I mean? It's better if you can listen to your body and then reprioritize the week that you planned. And that way you feel empowered because you're making this decision, right? Like you have the freedom to make these decisions. And it's tough because sometimes we make these decisions and we feel guilty or we feel bad or we feel like we have no productivity or no ability to execute or like stay focused, and we think that it's like a problem and we need to like go watch a mindset video or like listen to some fucking motivational speaker. I don't know. I did this for many years, but what I just recommend now is like for you to just prioritize whatever you're feeling, and that way when you make the decision to prioritize your body and take the day off, you're choosing that, and you're gonna feel refreshed the next day. Because I'm sure you work. Did you work the weekend? Were you flying out? Is that where you were on the weekend?
Yeah, and so weekend Saturday I traveled back. And,
Yeah, dude, like you just traveled. Like you're fucking exhausted. You know what I mean? You go on this trip, you come back, and you got a whole week of work to do. Like you need to give yourself a day to chill. You know what I mean? And like land and ground. So I get it. You want to like hustle and like grow the company, and it is super exciting, but it becomes too much at a certain point, and you sort of reach this burnout stage. So it sounds like your body told you on Tuesday and Wednesday that you needed to take some time off, and it sounds like you were fighting that, and it sounds like right now you're starting to maybe come to the realization that you just need to accept that you need to chill for a little bit and reprioritize your calendar and communicate that with your clients or whoever it is that you have obligations to.
Yeah, true. I think it makes sense. It's then like sometimes just this. I think I would know what it takes to deliver like this incredible service. Like, we shoot 1 week before, next week editing, and then in the third week it's out. But I think I'm going to finish those videos that are necessary for next week to run as ads, and then I'm going to tell my client that from now on always going to be 2 weeks turnaround time kind of between those ads, because those 3 days when you're shooting like 3 days, it is exhausting. It's like when you really yeah, and I just completely forget that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you shoot for 3 days, you should chill for 2 days after.
Yeah.
Like immediately. It's exhausting. That's incredible. Like I know what it feels like to film a podcast. That's like fucking I'm dead after I do a podcast. I don't want to do a podcast the next day. I've done 2 podcasts in one day. I'm just like, fuck that. I hate Satori School if I do 2 podcasts in one day.
Yeah.
I've tried it. So this is good. You're sort of coming to an understanding of what your energetic capacity is to fulfill, the service that you want to offer. It's just a matter of managing your energy. So I would say if you're going to shoot, make sure that you block off 2 days after to chill and land and just completely disconnect and forget about what you were doing and just go into do whatever fun thing that you want to do. I don't know, read a fantasy book, go play soccer, like whatever it is that you want to do, just wake up and know that it's perfect that you're taking this time off to recharge. This is everything I wish I would have told myself when I was running the agency, because I never did this. I worked 18 hours a day every day for like 3 years. It's insane. And I couldn't do it. I mean, I burned out a lot, and I was lying on the couch watching YouTube videos a lot because of it. So, and the thing is also is that this will become a lot easier as you grow because you'll have people helping you, and eventually you'll have people doing everything for you. And that's the beauty of what you're doing today, is that, you can begin to outsource it later.
So I was talking to three people I know since my childhood, actually, to help with letter writing, and one of them was like, she'll see, because she was a bit sick, and she'll see if she has time at the end of the month, and the other one is going to call with him, and he was interested. Yeah, but it's just like there's one guy I'm just thinking about right now where I'm probably going to drive to him, but I don't so much have really somebody like family-wise. Everybody's studying, or they already have some stuff that they want to do. And like friends-wise, I don't really have friends that have nothing to do, or friends whom I could work with, because I know from experiences I worked with them and they wouldn't do it as well again. And yeah, so I'm just like,
So
yeah.
find some groups, post on Instagram, Threads, hashtag wherever you are in your location, like go to some meetups and talk to some people. Ask your friends if they have friends. That's like an easy way. Like, hey, do you know somebody who has time, isn't super busy studying, or maybe is studying but has a few extra hours, or like wants to work one day on the weekend or something. For me, when I started Better AMS, I needed to hire my first person. I went to my childhood best friend. He was in university becoming a chiropractor or a physician, I don't know, something like that. And I was like, look, let's just start with like the weekends, like one day on the weekend, and I'll train you. And this can be like sort of a very low hour part-time job on the weekends. I just need like a few hours of help per week, that would be a lot, but then summer came and he was done school and he was like, okay, let's do this thing. And then it became like more 10 to 20 hours a week. And then he just never went back to school and he just went full time after that summer. So I think there just needs to be a willingness. If someone can be studying, I wouldn't negate them if they're studying or in school. I would still be open-minded to having a conversation with them. Everybody goes to school and has a job. Like some people have 2 jobs while they go to university. So I think that there are a lot of students that are highly motivated, that want to help and learn business, so try to ask around and go deeper. Ask friends of friends, family of family. And just strike up conversations with everybody. And it could be anybody, anybody. If you just meet a random stranger, hey, I'm looking to hire somebody just like part-time, I don't know, 5 hours a week or something, whatever it is, 10 hours a week. If you know anybody, call me, please. There's a lot of people that want to make money.
True. Yeah.
You'll find the person. They'll come, There's no need to rush it. Just do your best to keep planting seeds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really kind of the first time I'm really doing this, on my own words, not somebody else's, kind of having a bit in the hand. I love my freedom and everything, and it's just like, yeah, I need to be more mindful about what I'm doing and be more, be more, know more what's happening and reflect more.
Aware.
Yeah, aware, be more aware.
Yeah, that's okay. No, this is great. You're doing great. Try not to be too hard on yourself. I can see you're being extraordinarily hard on yourself. And it's okay. It's all part of the process. We're just learning. Sometimes we have to burn ourselves out to realize that we should probably take a day off or 2 after we shoot for 3 days. That's a incredible realization. It'll prevent Tuesday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Wednesday existentialism.
Yeah.
Because yeah, and that way, like, if you would have consciously made that decision to take Monday, Tuesday off, you probably would have had amazing days, but you probably would have felt great about having a super productive 3-day shoot. You probably would have came back on Wednesday being like, fuck, I'm so excited. Like, let's do this. I'm feeling so great because I just took this time off. Let's go crush this editing thing,
Yeah.
But you didn't have that awareness, and that's perfect because now you do. So such is life,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you a good example. Go ahead, Usman.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that, for me, it was like that I didn't even know what a burnout was supposed to feel like, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because there are a lot of things that you read that this happens and that happens, but you don't realize that that
Yeah.
is happening with you until somebody like you just told him that he's going through a burnout. So until or unless somebody wakes you up, right? That,
Yeah.
hey, this is what a burnout
This is it.
right? Yeah. So you don't come to that realization.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. I think I had like 20 burnouts before I actually realized that I was burning out. I don't know who it was that told me, but somebody did tell me. They're like, hey, like, you probably just burned out. Like, burned out. Like, yeah. I mean, I had such a strong ego. I didn't want to admit it. I'm like, I'll never get burned out. I work 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, it's just absurd. You're doing great. Doing great. Do you want to pause and we'll go back to Usman? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that.
Yeah, thanks. Uh, so two things. One related to what we were talking about earlier. So there's this one uh there's this one girl in my team that has been like working for like just over a month now, and I basically reached out to her the same way that you just told Fabian, right? To just ask, right? So I posted in my university's discussion forum on Facebook, and she basically reached out to me that although I was hiring students, but she basically reached out and she said, "Hey, I have a lot of free time and I don't have anything to do." Like, she got married and like, so she lives in Bahrain, the country in Middle East. There's
Mhm.
not a lot to do there, right? But her family is there and everything.
Just
She, from what she said, she was like, please give me something to do, right?
yeah.
And this is the girl that had like 5 years of experience in a consultancy firm, right? That pays like $1,000, $1,500 at least in Pakistan, which is a lot of salary for
Okay.
here, right?
Okay.
So she quit that, she got married, she moved, and then obviously she has nothing to do, but now she's so like enthusiastic with everything.
Aw.
She's putting in more hours than all of the team, right?
Wow.
And she's coming up with these initiatives and things that we should be doing and all of that stuff because
Aw.
obviously she has like 5 years of experience, right?
Yeah.
And she's on a very minimal salary because this salary is what I'm paying students. I said this is what I can afford right now. I was lying, obviously,
Yeah.
but I didn't know how it was going to turn out with her. But now she's performing amazing. So I
Aw.
was just thinking that maybe is she the person that I like? Is it too soon? I want to ask you, is it too soon? Because it takes a couple of months for you to, figure out somebody's work ethic, and her work ethic is
Yeah.
amazing, right? So I can probably invest in this person
Yeah.
and then make her learn whatever, like I want to teach her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this, and then the other question is, whatever she is doing currently, should I just hire somebody else and have her manage that person because she also has like a lot of responsibilities right now? But if I move her and I, start her growing phase and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna do this part,
Yeah.
right? So
I mean, this is a question of like, it sounds like you have the right person, and we're wondering if transitioning her into a different seat is the right decision. First of all, if she's amazing like that and she's still on a salary similar to the other people, the students, I would totally consider giving her a raise, and figuring out a way to, put her in a more empowered and impactful position because she sounds amazing. And yeah, it's so I think it's just a matter of having a conversation. Um, it'd be good to get her crystallizer assessment. It'd be good to have a conversation with her about it and say, hey, we have this thing that we want to execute on. I would love if it was you that could do this because you have shown such incredible like work ethic, innovation, whatever, yada yada yada.
yeah,
But you don't have to say yes. It's kind of like if this feels amazing to you, I would love if you'd be willing to consider the opportunity.
yeah,
So that's how I would approach her with it is once you have defined what the project and the initiative is, then I would go to her and have a conversation, about it with her.
right,
The second thing that I would consider is looking at her role progression in the role that she's currently in. Um, the entire business, like we have to zoom out and realize that the business as an entity must grow for the individuals in the entity to grow, right? Um, everybody wants to earn more and become more responsible and better versions of themselves. And that can only happen if the business itself is growing. And so if she is an incredible person and her role progression in her current role will sort of better serve the bottleneck of the agency, then obviously it makes sense to keep her there. But if you're looking at the agency from a whole and you're saying, this marketing thing is the biggest bottleneck by far, and we really need somebody to tackle this, somebody that's like the best in our team, then I would go to her and share that with her and say, when we look at the business as a whole, you're doing so incredible here and it's amazing, but we really need somebody over here because this is actually the most important problem that is limiting us from growing as an agency. You know what I mean? This is the sort of
Yep.
way in which we need to approach this thinking. So you have the context, and this is probably a conversation to have with your partner, with your wife first, and say, okay, what's our biggest bottleneck in the agency? And would this person be, if it is the marketing thing, is she the best to potentially offer the opportunity for her to take this over? Or would it be better to hire somebody else? That's the conversation to have with the wife. I don't know. You guys have better context than I do, but that's the way to go
Right.
about talking about it.
Yeah, that helps. Cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, one more thing, unrelated, but I really want to understand the process. Like, how do you plan your year, month, day, week? So I have this journal over here. So every year,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you can see it, but like,
You
can
can't.
you
It's
see it?
blurred out. You got to turn off your blur.
Oh yeah.
What's
Let
the title
me.
of the journal? What's the journal name?
Uh,
Cool. I see it. Yeah, this looks just like a journal that I have. Love
yeah.
it.
And
Work,
then
rest, and
yeah,
faith. Beautiful.
yeah. So it's basically, three areas where you need to focus. Like for
Yeah.
me, faith is important. Rest is basically your growth and obviously taking time off, right?
Yeah.
And then work is basically just work related stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
So this is what I do. Every year I have this, and then I have like on the page opposite this, I have like a quarterly goals, right? So starting from my birthday is like 3 months. Uh, so my birthday is on July 18th. So August, September, October. I
Mhm.
have like the start of that fiscal year, you can say, right? So then I have like 4 quarterly goals on the left side of the page or of the
Mhm.
journal. And then, so I do that. But now, so I want to translate this into month and then to a weekly and then to a daily. So I want to understand what is the medium to do this, because writing all of this also takes a lot of time. I also have Asana, but I barely look at it after I set up the monthly
Yeah.
plan. So yeah.
I really enjoyed, well, first of all, I like just having a pen and paper, and that to me feels best because I agree. I've tried Trello, Asana, ClickUp, Notion. I fucking tried it all. It just like kills me every time. I like spend all this energy building this insane like thing, and then it's like
Yeah,
I never see it. And what I
that's
have
true.
consistently done every day in my life is I've woken up or I've gone to sleep, and before I go to sleep, I plan my day the next day. And typically I had a section in that journal where I would have like my Q3 focus or my annual focus, whatever. So the best journal I've found, I'm going to send it to you right now. It's really good. It has day, week, month, year planner, and it's organized in a really
Oh,
beautiful manner. I'm going to share it with you right now. And it has good prompts for
mhm.
like really good prompts. Here it is. It's the annual planner. Um, so I've used this in my final couple years in Better
Okay.
Aim, and I've enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But
The one
yeah,
thing.
that's pretty much it. I like that. To be honest, what I actually did was sort of a combination. Like I just had a regular journal notebook. That's where I plan my days. Like 7 a.m. I'm gonna do this, 8 a.m. I'm gonna do that, 9 a.m. I'm gonna do that. And then every hour or whatever it was, however long the task took, then I would move on to the next thing. And then I would have the one thing planner, and that thing was kind of just next to it, and I would look at that for like the higher level stuff. So my little notebook thing was more for the day-to-day weeds, and then I would look at this planner for the like month plan, the week plan, whatever the annual goal. So I would just get it, see how you feel trying it out, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll find some sort of combination. I don't think there's a specific method that works best, but this is what I tried, and if it helps, amazing.
Do you also do like the weekly planning on that same journal, or you just do daily plans?
Um, I would typically write at the top like what my primary focus was for the week, and I would just have one thing. I really like the book. Have you read the one
One
thing?
thing.
Yeah.
I've seen a 5 minute summary of that
Yeah,
on
I mean that's
YouTube.
good enough. It doesn't take more than
Yeah.
5 minutes to understand the concept of it. But yeah, I would just write down the one thing for the week at the very top of the journal, and then I would, plan the day by the hour. Just it's just a mental reminder, like what is my actual one thing that I'm really focused on, and it's usually the primary bottleneck in the business. Usually.
Right.
Yeah.
Hmm. Cool. So pen and paper wins, right?
Every day.
Yeah.
Pen, paper, whiteboard, whatever physical piece of thing that can live in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that having a digital goal dashboard thing, like it's kind of helpful and important if you have a team, like a massive team. What we do now in Better AMS in BTR is just we do end of month meetings where we reflect on the month, and we have certain prompts that we ask people. So like what were some or what are like 1 to 2 projects that you accomplished this month? What are 1 to 2 like wins? What are 1 to 2 losses that you want to talk about? And
Hmm.
then they just add them in the slides, and then we just go through and present, and everybody has a moment to share, basically. But what we do at the end of every month, or at the end of every month, is we start that slide that we open up with our vision, our mission, the values that we have. That's like the 3 minutes. That's the same shit every single time. It's just like brainwashing. First 3 minutes, people probably get bored of it, but we're like, we're gonna brainwash you again. Like, let's do this. We're gonna talk about our mission and vision, whatever. I don't know. And then we talk about like, okay, look, this month we did 142,000 in revenue. Our goal this quarter is to close out the quarter with 500,000. So we're pacing like this. So we have like the bar. We're actually at what we want to be at for our pacing, just to give people a pulse as to how we're tracking, because everybody in the company does want goals. Like we realize that when we talk to people, we're like, people want to know, like, are we growing? Are we not growing? And it's very motivating to see at the end of the month, like how we're doing. It's sort of that moment to be like, wow, my retention was 100% because of my retention at 100%. The business is where it is today. I think, just gives people a moment to realize the impact that they've had on the goals of the company, right? And it's also your moment as a leader to explain that to them. That's really what a leader is doing, is it's saying, hey, look, we did 35,000 this month in MRR because our retention rate was 95%. That's fucking incredible. Amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think from a higher level, it's good to have end of month meetings, and somebody should be pulling that information for you and putting it into the slides, so you're not spending time like building slides and whatever.
Yeah.
But we would do that, and then the quarter, the QBRs would be the same thing as the end of month, except a little bit bigger zoom out, right? Because we're reviewing the entire quarter, and then the end of year is even bigger zoom out because we're looking at the progression of this year versus all of our previous years in the company.
Yeah.
So I really liked that style. End of month, end of quarter, end of year. It's an even bigger zoom out every time. So anyways, I hope that helps. I can give more details on that. I want to share more details on how we do those presentations. I'll maybe ask them for a presentation and see if I can share it with the group. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, they're super fun. They're really cool. We have all these funny, like hilarious, stupid memes. It's great.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
How old are you, Usman?
Sorry?
How old are you?
How old? I turned 30 in July. This
Dude,
July.
29. Oh, you turned 30 in July.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you look young.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're
I have
all.
this whole calendar here, by the way, if you can see. I don't know if you guys can see, but like, no, here.
You have a life calendar. I had a life
Yeah.
calendar.
I think I learned this from you. I printed it out on a huge
I
sheet.
love those things. They're so fun.
Yeah. Every week I cross out one box,
Yeah.
and yeah, it
Yeah.
just tells me that another week I'm never gonna get back.
Yeah. I love it. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, dude. I'm 27, Fabian, 21,
20.
20. Baby.
Oh, you have a whole life ahead of
Baby,
you.
bro. You got 10 years to build a 7-figure agency before you're 30. You should be excited.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know what, like, for me it feels hard to plan. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I know that next year I'm going to be in Mongolia for, I don't know, 3 weeks or something in
Yeah.
October, riding with those with the horses and stuff. And I don't know where it's going to evolve in what direction, because I also love these kind of adventure things, like
Yeah.
there's still so much to explore,
I
And
I feel like it's just trying to do your best to surrender to the magic of the universe.
yeah,
Just surrendering to God's will.
yeah,
Like don't worry about planning too much. Just do your best to have an awareness of how your body feels and stay in tune with your body and move with the feelings of the body. I can feel that you're much more intuitive and flowy, um, you know, much more right brain. I can feel that. I'm that way as well. Now I wasn't for a long time. For the vast majority of my life, I was much more like left brain, plan, plan, plan. But just do your best to listen to your body and loose plans are okay. You don't need to plan by the minute and plan by the hour and whatever. Your natural flow of planning may be to just follow your heart and have a high level vision in your mind as to what it is that you want to create. And as long as you can hold that in your mind and follow your heart, you don't necessarily need to worry too much about the planning, because you yourself are a compass and you know what you need to do. You know that you need to edit these videos, that you need to hire somebody to get these letters sent out if you want to grow your agency, to have somebody who can help you while you're traveling. You know that you need to do all these things. It is helpful to write them down, but like you don't need to worry too much about planning it all out perfectly.
yeah, true, yeah.
So just a friendly reminder. But anything else before we wrap up and hop off?
Is there something else? Like, there's one thing, like, I feel like with this one client I have, it's like I'm a bit it got a lot better, but it's still like I somehow sometimes feel a bit like it's so important, this is like, it almost feels like this is the sometimes, and it was before we did this whole thing, it was like, I was just thinking, this is kind of my business, and I have to, this is the only thing I'm doing, and so all of this went into it, and now it's kind of also transitioning it to be more process based, like to have to have it kind of all being a process, this whole thing, so that it's not like I'm worrying so much about what I'm doing. It's like the process of what I have, and I'm just doing that, and then I'm just feeling fine. I think it's also something that I think is coming up more and more, because before I was like, so like this is the one thing, and now I'm like, we want to replicate it more and more, right? Just a bit of a reflection that came right now. When we talk, it's always all of these kind of things come up. When we don't, when it's so helpful, because otherwise, I get stuck somewhere, but it really helps to keep me on the right lane.
Yeah. I get it. I know. It's helpful to have somebody who has walked down the path that you're walking down, and that you can ask questions to, or just speak to, and then sort of just be a rebound. Yeah, I get it. No, you're doing great. You're doing amazing. Don't think too hard about it. Just listen to your heart and give yourself space to relax and recharge, and come back to that feeling of feeling excited to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you will hate what you're doing, and that's typically a sign that you should step away and just give yourself some space. But a lot of people lack that awareness, and they may feel the burnout and hate what they do, and then they just feel like, I'm not going to do this anymore because I don't like it. And that could be true, or it could be true that they just don't know how to manage their energy properly, and they burn themselves out, and then they are confused as to why they do that. And I think that what you're experiencing is tremendously normal, and that you're just learning a really valuable lesson on managing your energy. That's all.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, Usman, one thing I wanted to add to the one employer you have. I remember I once was this kind of hungry young man who started from nothing and was just like going up the ladder and learning more and more, exactly what Taylor described. And I remember like it then changed a bit. The company I was working at then changed a bit into something completely different, and I was still going like all in on those other things. But for me, it was really like I then had like a couple of talks, like I think two very important talks, where I was also kind of just pouring out my heart to Manu, like kind of the boss at the company, or the owner, my friend now, and it was for me, it was like it just didn't feel so like it was like if there were more like kind of these conversations where you could be like completely intimate, and you could be like, you can trust each other. So I don't know if you really trust her, but if you really trust her, and if you can have like a heart to, it of course depends on the person, right? For some people, they're not open at all about it. They kind of have their structure, how they want to talk with people or stuff. But if you can have like a heart to heart talk with her, where you can be really honest, and where you can really like also let your emotions out, that's something, always after these talks where I could like kind of pour my heart out at the beginning, where I was like, because I was like, I have to talk to you. And then I was just like for 10, 20, 30 minutes, I was just straight up pouring everything out that I had on my mind. And if that's maybe something that you could let her do, or that you want to do to her kind of, that would be very cool. And for me, it was also like, I was getting all of those things. I was putting all of my energy in there at some point also, and there was, of course, I got the opportunity to move to Barcelona with Manu, and we were like it wasn't that much. We were at 10K a month. We of course also had costs, and I got like 1,000 euros a month, which still was still quite cool, and I don't have to pay the rent and not so much for food and stuff, so it was nice money. But still, at some point, for example, sometimes when I then got some deals on board, I got a closer deal for 2,000 euros or 4,000 euros. Like at the beginning, it was totally cool because I was just learning, and so I was unpaid. I worked for 1.5 years unpaid, and I was just learning, and it was so much fun. And then I wasn't going to school anymore so much. I was just wanted to work, but then it was when these things were coming, I felt like I would like to have a share more of that. So I don't know how it's with her, but for me, after a specific period of time, I was like, I had the fire, I wanted to grow it, but I didn't feel I was like rewarded with giving my energy to it, which was also in some way then also what led me then maybe to do my own thing, because he had a different opinion on these kind of things. But that's just my personal, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that, Fabian. What you're getting at is losing great talent because you don't value them for what they're worth.
Mm.
And it's such an important concept. That's why I was sharing with Usman, like, wow, yes, if that person is that amazing and they're being paid, similar to someone else that's nowhere near as good, like, we really have to look at our moral compass, because some people would love that. They would just take advantage of that. And we don't want to be that person. We want to be the person that rewards the people that are really putting in the energy to grow the entity that we have created as the founders. And so we have this incredible responsibility to be the person that is in sort of like the godlike position to say, you've been amazing. I love you so much. Here's the reward. I want to increase your salary, or whatever it is. I want to give you a small stake in the company, whatever it is. I was always extraordinarily generous with the company, and it had worked out tremendously well. I gave a significant portion of equity to Destiny and to Alex in a very early stage with no upfront capital. I didn't ask for anything upfront. I just made it very clear that I loved them very much and wanted to commit to the growth of the business with them after they had been in it for a couple of years. And I think that generosity came back to me infinitely greater than I ever could have imagined. And it sounds like that person you were with, Fabian, didn't value you to the degree that he should have. And that's just a byproduct of him being blind to the value that you brought to the company and being greedy. So I love that you shared that story.
Yeah, because it's like some people, like he for me is like he's like a bit like a brother in some ways. We are so close, but then on a business level, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's unfortunate. Yeah.
and
I
so
get-
Usman, if it's a really cool thing that you have her, and if she feels valued.
Yeah, I know at some point I had to do it, but I think what I was confused about was whether like just 1 month in is this the right thing to do, or I'm just, doing it pretty fast,
Oh, is
Because
she
sometimes
only
when
been there for a month?
yeah, I mentioned like
Oh,
it's just been
got
over
it.
a month
Got it.
for her. So, which is why I probably test her out for a couple more months and then do this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It of course depends on her, but if she has also that a lot of experience in that space and she's pushing on with so many projects, and you like her and she's doing much more than the other employees, still some like if it's only a talk with you where you tell her, I really like what you're doing. I just want to say thank you for that. Or if it doesn't need to be a payment increasing. You say, if you keep on that doing, I have this kind of plan with you. I see maybe you want to do that, or you're like, here's a little bonus. That's something that because she's giving all that energy in, can be
I
of course
agree.
cool.
I love that. I think you should definitely tell her how much you appreciate her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is it's such a beautiful moment to share that with her. Plus, typically in a company you'd have a one-on-one like once every month, at a minimum every 2 months. So 1 month in for a new hire to tell them that they're doing amazing and that you're so appreciative of their work, amazing. Love it. I would definitely do that. I also, Usman, I don't think there is a time. I don't think that 1 month in is too soon to consider giving a raise, but it's just sort of, if you did do it, it would just be like, I really fucking care about you. I think you're amazing. And I could do this in 2 months from now. That would be more like standard, even though that's also such a ridiculous time to give a raise because it's so fast. But it speaks to your awareness of her work ethic versus other team members' work ethics. And it is an incredible moment to reinforce the behavior of the person, right? Because when we give them these massive dopamine rewards of more money, which is such a real thing. That's what it is, a huge dopamine reward. It's the biggest feedback loop, like incentivization reward moment that we have as the founder to reinforce positive behavior. So I would probably do it after a month personally. I would probably go to her and just be like, I love you, you're fucking incredible, and here's a raise. Obviously don't expect a raise every month, but like, your work ethic compared to other people's work ethic is like insane. And I want to be able to grow together. And I know that there is so much opportunity for growth. She could be somebody that is a stakeholder in the company down the road. You know what I mean? Like, Destiny was that. She had the most insane work ethic I've ever seen. And I felt pretty early on that she had a lot of potential to be a partner. This person could be that too. You know what I mean? So yeah, and Usman, I think also, I very early on with the best people in Better AMS had conversations with them that I was very open to the possibility of equity and being partners at a stakeholder level, so long as we're all in alignment with the same values. And so I think because I was very open about having that conversation with Destiny and Alex, at a very early stage, both of them felt like they are willing to commit, go all in on this thing, even though it's a startup and is only doing $25,000-$30,000 a month. Because when I was with them and we were having these conversations, we were at a similar level, like where you're at, 30, 25-ish thousand a month. And I told them, I was like, I understand I own 100% stake. I want you to know that I'm open to the concept of giving equity and you guys being partners. I'm open to anybody being a partner as long as we are in alignment and you're proving your value in the company. So yeah, it's not a carrot that you want to dangle with everybody. I wouldn't just go on a team call and say that with everybody, because then it could become a competition. But with people that you feel very amazing about, like this person, it's worth it to just sort of drop that seed in the ocean or in the dirt. And I maybe wouldn't drop that on her right now because 1 month in is too soon for the concept of like, well, let's talk about equity. That's like getting married very quickly. But anyways, consider possibly giving her a raise in 1 month. I think that it's not too soon. And definitely at a minimum a heart share on how amazing she is. Yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
sometimes like not knowing about those incentives, like just for some people, just for me, at some places, just like left the rush. It wasn't like at some point when you give it everything and there's no incentive for you to know, or then you like.
yeah. Amen. I'm gonna hop off. I haven't eaten breakfast. This is
Yeah,
how
sure.
out of swing I am with my day, but it's okay. This was amazing, you guys. I hope the recording happened. It may have not happened, so that's unfortunate, but let's find out.
Do have the notes, right?
It says it's on, right? The Fathom note taker. At the beginning of the call, it said recording stopped, and then I tried to push record and
But that was Zoom, I think. Zoom recording is different. No?
I think you're right, and I'm hoping that that's the case. So
Yeah.
but yeah. Fabian, could you stay on for a moment? I just wanted to ask you a quick question about something random.
Of course.
I'm gonna go pee, but I love you guys. Love you, Usman, and
Thanks
yeah,
a
this
lot for your time, man.
incredible call as always. Love you guys. I'll be right
This
back.
one we talk as well.
What?
We have to make a unique call, just us two at some point.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say that at the age you are, like having a burnout is possibly the best thing you can have because you're already working so much. That means that you're having a burnout, right? When I was 20, I didn't even start on this road. So I think you're already way far ahead than me at the age of 20, right? So I just wanted to say that to you.
Thanks, man. Means a lot.
Yeah,
Means a lot.
sure. And let's set up that call for sure, okay?
So that sleep well, man. I know it's late.
All right, thanks. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Have a great dream.
You too.
What up, dude?
What up?
I'm gonna share with you something, and then I'm gonna go eat breakfast because I'm fucking starving. But this is so exciting, and I think you'll appreciate how exciting it is. Um, I've had it on my heart for a long time. Agency birth is something I've always wanted to do, and I just put it on the back burner and kind of threw it in the garbage because I never thought I'd come back to business. But obviously, you and Tomac and a couple other people, but mostly you and Tomac, have sparked this whole inspiration for me to sit back at the laptop and do all this business stuff again, which is great. So this is a byproduct of your influence, and we'll start here. So I'm starting the process of building Agency Birth. Agency Birth was always going to be a program about helping people get to $10,000 a month from zero with absolutely no experience. So, you know, it's very applicable to you as well and where you're at, and I know it's going to be really helpful. But the style in which it's going to take place is so unique. So these are slides. I'm just going to show you the slides and speak over them in like a normal manner. But what it's actually going to be, this is technically module 1 of the program. It's going to be free in Agency Enlightened, which is, you know, the school group that we're in right now. But we're also, I want to create an Agency Birth school group, which is for people that are at 0 or below 10K per month and want to get to the 10,000 per month range. Because I feel like that's the range where you actually are like, holy fuck, I'm an agency because I can hire people and have people do shit for me. I'm not just like a freelancer. So it's the concept of birthing the agency, right? Like getting to that level of whatever, 6 figures annually speaking, $10,000 per month, yada, yada. So I'm trying to do it so it's a story. I'll just show you. So this is just the opening slide where I introduce Agency Birth.
Looks amazing. Wow.
And it's got all these cute little animations.
Holy.
And I'm going to talk over this stuff and explain, like, sort of the first thing is the hero's journey. I'm going to talk about my own journey, and then I'm going to get into the agency business model, which is the second animation, and then the community of Agency Birth, which is the third animation, and then like the next steps. So this is sort of the format of the thing where we're going to talk about the hero's journey. And this is me just introducing me at 19, talking about my story a little bit and being born in a terrible place. Yeah, some of the slides are duplicates, but let's see. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have so far. This is just a static image that I'm going to translate. Yeah, and then we're going to go through stuff like this. this slide I liked a lot. It's going to be talking about like how do you actually get knowledge and skills when you have no experience and you barely graduate high school and you look like you're 14. And I learned everything on YouTube and Google for free. So it's kind of like I'm just going to touch on that and how people can learn anything they want through, YouTube and whatever else. So yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share this with you. It's a little sneak peek. It's just the beginning of what I've started to create.
I love the style. Like the design you have,
Yeah.
they are beautiful.
Aw, I'm glad you like it.
Really.
Aw, amazing. I can't wait to share it. I know it's going to be helpful for a lot of people. One of the things I want to do is I want to pay somebody to help build 3 amazing agency website templates that I really love, that I feel like are unique, that get to the essence of what an agency website should have. Something that's good enough so that you could use it all the way from 0 up to like 50,000 a month. It looks like, wow, you're an amazing agency if you have this type of website sort of thing, and give it to people for free as part of this. And then a basic, module on like lead gen and acquiring your first client and that stuff. So it's going to be just the core fundamentals required to get to 10,000 a month. It might only be 4 or 5 modules, but they're going to be all like very beautifully styled like that. So something to forward to.
It's very cool. Like a really cool series to watch in the evening. Like it's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I'll probably ask you for feedback at some point before it actually gets released and get your thoughts on certain aspects of it. But that's all.
I love to do that.
Oh,
Sounds
thanks.
really cool. Like I have to admit, like the community is very like those calls. It's very helpful. It
Mm.
because like sometimes it's like all the things going on. It's just sometimes like it's very hard to like I need to take a break now. It's too much and
Yeah.
yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you is I sometimes feel a bit like so now I, of course to communicate that part that I'm going to finish the ads that we need for next week, and then next week I'm going to finish the rest of them. But sometimes I feel like when I communicate these things, like there might be like not so nice feedback from the client. You know what I mean?
Tell me, what would you
Like,
communicate?
like I think I'm going to send a message, an email, and be like, due to I don't know if I'm going to call it time management, but I'm going to finish the videos that are going to be for next week to be run for our advertising, but due to personal reasons I don't want to mention, or due to private reasons I wasn't able to
Yeah,
spend on doing.
this is just a simple communication thing. You're overthinking it a bit. All you need to say is that you underestimated how much work it is, and based on the first week of attempting to get all the ads done, you're not going to make schedule you're going to be like, it's going to be a week later than what we anticipated because it's a lot more work than I expected it to be. That's all you have to say. So
Yeah.
I would just keep it that simple. Like, if I was you, or if you were my client, I would reach out and say, hey, Fabian, I just wanted to give you a heads up. Editing the ads is editing the videos is proving to be a lot more work than I expected. Will probably be between a half a week to a week later than we expect than the anticipated time of launching the ads, or whatever it is that you were going to be doing next. That's all you have to say. People understand, people get it. It's life. You don't even need to touch on personal reasons. Like, just keep it simple, keep it straightforward. The client should be very understanding. If the client gets angry at that, it's probably a red flag that they're not the best client, and they don't have a strong moral compass, and they don't understand that people just go through things. So it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I'm just going to send that email right now.
Cool.
Yeah. there's just so much like with all of these, like this time management thing is really something. I mean, now, I mean, it's the first month, you know, it's like we're in the we're in the second week, right? No, in the third week or second half week of the
Yeah.
month. So it's not so much has happened, but it's like really, and it's really since we started in October. So the progress is already there. You know, I'm just, as you said, I'm always too hard on myself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. It's super common. I was too. Also, when you're writing this email, add a touch of amusement and make sure it's not too somber. You know what I mean? Like, I know you probably feel a bit somber and down right now, but just a flare of excitement and is always really, really helpful in the communication. So it's a more light energy. So something along the lines of like, you know, just like, I am really excited. I'm really excited to be working on this, but it's proving to be a lot more work than I thought. Exclamation mark, you know, just like the basic things that excited, exclamation mark. It's just a lot more work than I thought. That's it. So I say this, and I don't think that you would say this, but so many times in business, people are so fucking like rigid and control. Like I'll receive an email from a client that says something along the lines of like, you know, where is the report for this week, question mark, and there's nothing else. And it's just very like direct and sort of bland and dry. And I've always tried to make sure that my communication is soft and loving and and light. So just soft, loving, light, excite, dash of excitement, energy is always really helpful because people love that. That is actually the true essence of what we are as souls is love. And when our communication has that love like baked into it, it's so much easier to receive it opposed to just like, I'm sorry, we will be 2 weeks, we'll be 1 week late. I have personal reasons. I'm going through stuff like that is just you're dumping garbage onto people. You know what I mean? Like opposed to I am excited about this. It's just a lot more work than I thought. It'll be a week late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Definitely right. And you know, we're doing a shooting this weekend. So I mean, Monday I have to do some small stuff. That's always a Monday, but going to do like then Tuesday, maybe Wednesday off, and then Thursday, Friday finishing those video ads. And then we have the weekend. But that's yeah. Ah, big heart to you, Taylor.
Oh, big heart to you too, brother. I love you. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.
Let's do that. Cheers.
Okay. Love you, brother. Bye.